When we teach new scouts the oath, we need to understand the 3 promises that we make. Hey, ScouterStan, did you know that scouting kind of supersedes any political? We are nonpartisan. We don't even get into the politics because of the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. Hopefully, if we've done our job right, when the Scout becomes an adult, they can make very smart decisions on any political affiliation they choose to have. The Scout Law and the Scout Oath supersede all of that. Okay, at this point, I'm going to do the Scout Oath. And as I do that, we will dissect and think about these items. This is important for all Scout leaders to understand the Scout Oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty. The Preamble actually gives us the importance of this oath. It is a work in progress. We're actually trying to do our best to do our duty. That's a big part of the Scout Oath. This is all based on honor. Honor is one of those things that young people need to understand. It is very difficult to regain honor once it is lost. It's almost impossible. So honor is one of the big things that we swear on to abide by. In most cases, if you're doing your best with good intentions, this will not become an issue. We often fail when we don't do our best. We should never forsake our honor when we promise. To God and my country. Did you notice that God became before country? Very important point to stress. Our faith in God, based on that, is critical to the loyalty to our country. That's why E pluribus unum and in God we trust and liberty is on all the money. It's so that it reminds us every single day that those are critical things that are essential to keep our country strong. To obey the Scout Law, all 12 points of the Scout Law, not just 1 or 2, all 12 are important. If one was missing or neglected from the Scout Law, the whole thing would collapse. Everything is interlaced with one another. You cannot be trustworthy if you're not loyal. That is the first promise, the first part, the first finger in the Scout Oath. To help other people at all times. To help others at all times. That is critical to the second finger in the Scout sign. That promise is critical to family and our community. Even our slogan, to do a good turn daily, should also be incorporated into that segment of the Scout Oath. Now, when we say do a good turn daily, that doesn't mean one good turn. That means you should always strive for at least one, if not more. Okay? Always remember that we add at all times. That's even when it's not convenient. Scouting doesn't always happen in a convenient time. Sometimes it's pouring down rain, and you have to do the right thing. To keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. To keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. It's said so quickly that a lot of our youth don't think about those 3 parts. That is a promise to ourselves. That is really important. That is the third finger of the Scout sign. I bet his arm's getting tired. That is very, very, very critical to stress. Make sure that your Scouts are not doing this. They are actually making the L shape with their arm. That L shape is the Scout law, okay? The L, that's what that is. The three fingers are the oath, and this ties it together. That's so critical. As an adult leader, we need to stress that. The Scout oath and law should always be taken while standing. There are exceptions. If you are disabled, obviously you can't stand as the other people, and that's totally acceptable. If you are in a video situation like this, a lot of Zoom meetings are happening with pandemic going on in America, throughout the world. There's a lot of video being done. It is totally okay to do the pledge and to do the oath and the law while seated, because when you're on a computer, standing or seated, they can't really tell. It has no significance in that regard. So keep that in mind when you're doing meetings online. It's better to see the individual than to look at their belt buckle, okay? Because the camera doesn't change. It's just, you have to stay within the little frame, otherwise the camera people get upset. So that's critical. Always keep that in mind. You are awesome because you have decided as an adult leader to tune in and join our community. That is awesome. You are actually seeking a higher level of understanding about what's going on in scouting. These things are not really talked a whole lot about, and we need to discuss this. Stressing the Scout Oath and making sure that the Scout Oath and law are critically woven into your program is important. It is the meaning behind scouting, because scouting has no politics associated with it, because this actually is where we derive a lot of our moral content, is from the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. So as an adult leader, I really appreciate you putting that effort forward to learn a little bit more about Scout skills as an adult leader. And I tell you what, you are awesome. Okay, keep those good comments coming in. I do answer all of them, so please send me a note. And of course, I will see you on the trail.